All right. Welcome to episode 2 of Brand Fortress HQ, our podcast. Today is our first Amazon Tip Tuesday, where we're going to go over the first tip that I think all three of us are excited to share. My name is John Stojan. I'm one of the co-hosts, along with Mike Kaufman and Matt Atkins. And today, what we're really going to dive into is something that we think is fundamental to brands, whether you're selling on Amazon, or you're on some other e-commerce platform, and how you create this brand fortress over the long run. And that is building a list. So I think where I want to start it off with is, Mike, I know that you've done quite a bit of work with this over the last couple of years with your brand. Talk about, just some of the benefits that you've been able to leverage from having a list of customers for your brand.
Sure. No, I'd be happy to. I think, one of the main ones, that probably is going to resonate most, I think, with Amazon sellers, and we kind of referenced this in our intro episode, is, product launches can be really tough and very expensive to do, and risky. A lot of times a product launch seems very risky to many sellers. You don't know how well it's going to go. You don't know how many people are going to buy. You don't know how much it's going to cost you to get the number of sales that you need, and are you going to hold your rankings? And all of that becomes that much more risky and that much more disconcerting, let's say, when you know that the launch is not making you money, right? Like most launches, you lose money on the launch with the hope that you're going to gain ranking and that down the road it's going to pay off with good sales and good profits. But you don't know that going into it. Like you expect it, you're hoping for it, you're planning for it, but you don't know that it's going to work. And so the problem is you could lose your shirt on the launch and not maintain your rankings, and then you just lost that money. So the nice thing about having the list on the front end is that a product launch becomes very organic and profitable, and it's almost assured that you're going to maintain ranking and continue with good sales. But the nice thing is, even if that wasn't the case, your launch was profitable. You didn't lose money on it. So, it's the best of both worlds. And so the way that we launch a product, we have a list of about 30,000 customers. And it's a very engaged list. We have about a 50% open rate for virtually every email that we send out. And so one of the things that we do is when we're investigating or looking toward possibly releasing a new product, either A, if we already know what the product is, then we would communicate with our list basically to find out how much interest there is in that product among our list. If we don't already have an idea of a product, or maybe we have an idea of multiple products, we might connect with our list to find out which of those products they would be most interested in. Or if we don't have any idea at all, we would ask them, what would be the next product you would like to see us sell, and we'll survey them that way. But ultimately, the end of that process always results the same. We finalize it with a single product that we decide we're going to try and move forward with, that we already know a good portion of our audience is interested in. So we have that nailed down. So then the next steps in that process would be to go back to them and say, okay, we've now determined this is the product we're going to move forward with. These are some of the features that we think we might move forward with, things that we think you might like. What do you think about that? What are some other features that you might like to see? What are the things about the products that are on the market right now that you hate? What price point would you be willing to pay? If we had a lifetime warranty, as we do, we ask all sorts of questions from our customers. We'll run them through a pretty long survey about the product to get as much information as we can about them. And the interesting thing is that we generally get pretty good responses to that, not only in sheer number, but also just in the information that is provided. Oftentimes, a lot of stuff that we wouldn't know otherwise. And so then we move forward with that. So the next step would be, okay, we communicate back to the list. This is what we found out from surveying the list. These are the features that people most wanted. These are the things that they don't care about. These are the things about other products that they hate that we're going to try to fix. These are some of the things that we thought of that maybe we're going to do as an extension of what you guys asked us to do. And so then we go to the drawing board. We start doing some design work. We're talking to manufacturers. We're saying, these are the features we want, yada, yada. We keep our customers engaged in that process by letting them know, okay, we're in the process of design work. We're in the process of building molds, whatever it is, or prototypes. Okay. Once we're ready with a prototype, then we will offer up for our list to beta test. Who wants to beta test it? We'll choose 10 beta testers. We'll send them all prototypes. We get back their comments, and we talk to them. We have a conversation with them and find out what are the things they didn't like. What did they like? We'll get back to the list. We'll say, this is what the beta testers thought. These are the changes that we're going to make as a result of what the beta testers thought. We come out with a new prototype. We go through the same process all over again. The point is, we go all the way from the beginning, all the way to the point of a launch. And by the time it comes time to launch, when we actually have the product in hand, we've been communicating with our list for months about this product. And they have been engaged and involved in that process since the very beginning. So when it comes time that the product launches, one, they know it's what they want because we already put all the features into it that they asked for. They feel like they have a vested interest in it because essentially they designed it, right? They've been a part of that process since the beginning. They like us even more because instead of just releasing a product and saying, here's what we're offering you, we actually involved them in the process to find out what it was they actually wanted. So they feel like we care about their opinion. So when it comes time for a launch, we might, give a 15% off coupon to our customers and they go like crazy. We know how many sales we need to run through. We know what our average open rates are. So we know exactly how many emails or roughly how many emails we need to send out, how many we need to drip. So we'll drip those emails over 10 days. We drip out the coupons. We use scarcity in that process, so, hey, 75 coupons are going to drop at midnight. The first 75 people in the door get the coupon. Once the coupons are gone, the people who request get a message that say, hey, try again tomorrow. Maybe they'll drop again tomorrow after midnight, another 75 codes. We send out an email the next, time around. We say, look, we got a bunch of people who didn't get them the first time. So make sure you get in early because they might pick up some. So we're building, all of that into that list and to that product launch. Our last launch for our pool brush, it was amazing how many units we sold. And we only sent out, we've got a list of 30,000 customers and we only sent three or 4,000 emails for our launch. That's all we needed for the sales that we needed for our launch. And we were ranking for 6 or 7 of our primary key phrases in the top, 5 or 6 results for every single one of those key phrases. And we held that. So, it's just a very organic process. The benefits, is crazy, and then, we go to our list and we'll ask them, we'll say, hey, we're getting targeted with negative reviews. We need some reviews. And we'll get a whole bunch of people who will drop in and leave us 5-star reviews. We need reviews on Google or we need reviews on Facebook. They'll go give us reviews. We can ask for UGC. We can, it's like the value is endless. And that doesn't even account for the fact, and we've talked about this, that we have the list, right? Like we can go anywhere we want. Amazon could terminate us tomorrow and we could start selling directly on our website and every single one of those customers would be interested in whatever product we launched because they trust our business. They wouldn't care that we're not selling it on Amazon anymore. They would just come buy it from us someplace else, and you really can't put a price tag on that because how safe is your family? How safe is your income if Amazon could turn you off tomorrow and you have no way to communicate with your customers? You just simply can't let that go.
Right. So I think the main takeaways for folks is as far as the Amazon tip there is that first of all, starting from the very beginning and using that list for product research is huge. Secondly, it gives you a dramatic advantage when it comes to just launching the products and getting that kind of that target sales velocity that you need in order to rank for those important keywords. And then 3, helping to jumpstart that review process. So that way you're getting reviews as well.
And they're much more willing to leave those reviews, like it's
right.
Just a general Amazon customer.
They already have
to leave the review. Our customers, they're going to, every single one of them is going to leave it.
They already have a relationship with your brands. They've, the know, like, trust has already been accomplished. I'd also add to that, the other areas where beyond launch that you could use this list for, one is you talked a little bit about, hey, we all have situations, unfortunately, where it happens where, maybe you ran out of stock. And so your keyword rank or your BSR drops. Well,
Yeah.
this is a perfect way in order to fix that without having to, give away the farm in the process, where, you can create any excuse in the world that you want, and you maybe don't even need an excuse in order to throw a 10% discount at your audience.
Right.
And, the way Amazon treats that external traffic, you don't need a ton of that to convert in order for it to, really boost your ranking. So, you can use it in order to kind of fix some of those issues of out of stock, or, your listing got orphaned, or, all those kind of weird things that happen with your ranking. And then the other thing is that, what I hear from a lot of brands is that they'll have a product where, just quite frankly, as much as they'd love it to be, a hero product, is just not, and now they're way overstocked on that product. And this is an amazing way in order to clean out inventory, again, at a level that where you don't have to, break even or lose money on those sales, that you can give back to your audience as well, and use that audience in order to run through or clear out some of that inventory, that may be really, hard to clear out otherwise without losing money on it. So those
Well,
are just
there's also a lot of products that, quite frankly, they may not be good Amazon products, but that doesn't mean they're not good products, right?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, it may be a category on Amazon that you just don't really want to try to attack, but that doesn't mean you can't sell it as a back end product. And if you've got the list, you can sell it as a back end product. You can make a lot of money selling a back end product to your list and never sell it on Amazon at all, if you don't want
Well,
to.
one of those products that wouldn't work on Amazon are those lower cost products under $20. And so like those can be, you can be a loss leader. You can use those as a loss leader, or you can use them on your website where you have much better margins. You don't have to pay that Amazon fee. So there's a lot of places that you can sell those products that wouldn't work on Amazon, especially if you have that audience. One of the things, Mike, you touched on was something that our listings are littered with user generated content, and it's from our audience. I've never asked for it, never one time, but they naturally will post about it in the group. They'll naturally send it to us via email. They'll naturally leave reviews that have videos in them. That's another really big benefit of having that audience, is that they do things like that help you with your branding that you don't even have to ask them to do.
Yeah. So I think people that are listening to this at this point, probably, if you're listening and you're like, hey, I get all the different ways that a list is valuable. That's fantastic. I primarily sell on Amazon. How do I start that ball rolling of building that list? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a shameless plug for our after purchase program, because we do a good job of stepping you through that, with each individual step. And it's a free program that we offer on our website, brandfortresshq.com. In addition to that, what I would say is for folks that there's a number of different ways to do this to make sure that you're also doing it in a Amazon terms of service compliant way, with inserts and other ways. And, what I've seen in my personal experience with this is that, first of all, something is better than nothing. So even if it's as, register for this warranty, or here's, 10-20% off your next purchase, or whatever it happens to be, you will see, generally what I see out of that is anywhere from a 1 to 5% opt-in rate with that. Again, it kind of depends on, if you've got $1,000 product, then there's obviously going to be a lot more people that register for opt-in for the warranty than if you've got a $20 product. And then you can go all the way to, offering some sort of free product. I know in some of our, strategy calls, we've talked about, looking at partnerships, product partnerships for that. There's a lot of different ways that you can build that list. And I think the most important is, if you have nothing in place right now to build a list, is to at least have something, even if only, 2% of your sales or customers that are buying something from you are opting into that. That's, significantly better than 0%. So start somewhere. But if you've already kind of started that process, I think then, Mike, I'd love for you to share, just a quick version of a few of the things that you guys do, because I know for your brand, I think you're, well north of 10% on your opt-ins for, new customers that are coming to your brand after they've bought a product.
Yeah, I think, and I'll be happy to answer that. But before I get to it, just getting to the numbers, I think it would be valuable for people to hear, what's possible versus, what's kind of that low end, okay, better than nothing, right? And I think it is reasonable to say that, if you just throw something up, you're going to get some people to respond, and maybe it is going to be somewhere in that 1 to 3, maybe 5% response rate, depending on how effectively you do it. But I will say that the way that we're operating, the mechanisms that we've got in place, 25% of our Amazon sales result in a registration. 80% of registrations result in an email subscription. 98% of those registrations, so we're getting 25% of our orders give us a registration, 80% of them give us an email, but 98% of them give us a physical address, and we don't require it. Like, it's part of the warranty registration process, and honestly, it clearly seems like a natural progression to them. All we say is, hey, give us your physical address so we'll know where to send your replacements when you file a claim. 98% of them give us their physical address. Now, you can decide whether to do something with that or not, but technically you could use that for postcard marketing. We haven't yet. I want to try it. We haven't done it. But that's a massive list of very targeted individuals that we can market to. So, but again, 80% of those are giving us an email and subscribing to our list. And we get about a 50% open rate on just about everything we send out. So, those are pretty good numbers. The category that we sell in, we sold 50,000 units last year. So at a 25% response rate, you're looking at 13,000 new registrations in a year. But I think what's more interesting to me is, we're just starting the process of really doing a much better job of iterating on our messaging, both on our inserts and on our, registration page and things of that nature. So that 25%, I think we're going to be able to get that to 40%. A lot of that's going to have to do with our offer, how we phrase it, all that sort of thing. But I think we're going to get there. And that's a big difference. And that's a lot of numbers. So the process basically looks like this. We put an insert, in fact, what we use are hang tags. So it's a little plastic loop, with a little hang tag on it. My suggestion would be whatever insert or hang tag or whatever it is that you do, make sure it's something that your customer has to interact with in some way in order to use your product. Don't let it be something they can just kind of set aside and not worry about. Like, they have to interact with it. So the nice thing about our hang tags is they have to cut them off in order to actually use the product. So they have to interact with it, but then make sure that the messaging is right. So one of the things that we've started doing is, because we use a hang tag, it can be double-sided. So we have different messaging on each side of the hang tag, and we have a different QR code on each side of the hang tag. That way we can test how many scans do we get on each of those QR codes, so we know which messaging is working better. Then the next time we do a shipment, we're going to iterate on that messaging. We're going to keep the one that's working well, change the other side, and continue to split test that until we get, as good as we feel like we can get. The offer that we're giving, one is a warranty registration, of course. We have an unlimited replacement lifetime warranty. So obviously that's a more valuable warranty than a 1-year warranty. But it's still a warranty. And a lot of people don't trust the warranty, especially a first-time buyer. So it's still only going to get so many registrations. So what we decided to do quite a long time ago is we started doing a giveaway. So we do a monthly giveaway. It's $1,000. We don't give money. We give $1,000 worth of pool accessories. Whatever they are, it doesn't matter. It can be anything the customer wants. They basically just give us a wish list, and that's what they get. It's an Amazon wish list. We buy it on Amazon. It's all pool related stuff. Now you could offer $1,000 worth of something, but have it be something that you can buy wholesale, right? And so it's worth $1,000 to your customer, but maybe only cost you, $300, or $200. So $1,000 giveaway doesn't have to cost you $1,000 a month. Ours does, but it doesn't have to. It's a monthly giveaway. Everybody who maintains a subscription to our email list, they're entered in that drawing every month. We're actually going to implement a new program where every month that they remain subscribed, they get an extra 100 entries in the drawing. So just an extra encouragement to make sure that you stay subscribed and stay engaged. We might even give them extra points for interacting with emails that we send out periodically. Maybe, implement some sort of tool. You can give them extra points in the drawing for giving UGC content, extra points in the drawing for following you on Facebook, for sharing content on some social media platform. There's all sorts of ways that you can give them extra points in the drawing. What's nice about that is if your drawing is valuable enough, the points become just as valuable because they give them extra chances to win. So you can give away points that don't cost you anything. You still have the same $1,000 a month giveaway or whatever it is that you decide to give away. It doesn't change that, but you can give away as many points as you want. And every time you give away points, it's valuable. So it's a really good way to have an opportunity to, in a sense, monetize and get better response rates out of just about anything you ask your customers for. So that's mainly the process. And then we've got an autoresponder that goes out. So emails go out once a week for it's like 20 weeks of autoresponders, basically just pool cleaning, related information. We try not to make it obvious stuff that they probably already know. We try to make it actually useful content that would be things they might not already know about cleaning their pools. Every third or fourth message has some kind of a soft sell in it. So we're always selling to the list, trying to cross-sell products and that sort of thing. You could partner with other companies and, there's all sorts of ways that you can utilize that, but that's our process essentially. And we get pretty good numbers out of it. So.
Yeah, a couple of things I just want to double click on there that I think is really important for anybody who's listening to this is that, first of all, how valuable that list is of that buyer list is. So, I think I've had this experience where, I've built an email list and the quality wasn't really great because they opted in for some freebie or whatever it happened to be. And maybe only, 5% of those people open the email. Whereas with a buyer list, what I've seen multiple times is exactly what you're talking about, which is those are people that have already spent money in order to buy your product. And so the chances that they're going to open your email and engage with your brand are 10 times higher than somebody that just registers for a coupon code off your website. So the value of that list is significantly higher than the emails that you might get from other places. So I think it's important for people who are listening to keep that in mind of why this kind of buyer list with that after purchase funnel is so important. The other is that I heard from what you were saying that I think is really important for people to take away is, once you've collected that email address, you're only about halfway done. You have to think about how you continue to engage with that person in a way that continues to add value to them. So, you talked about the pool tips. I think that's a great example of value-added content. I know people, I've really slimmed down the number of email subscriptions that I have because I get a ton of email. But there are, certain newsletters and certain brands out there that I have purposely flagged because I know that the content from them is going to be really, really good. And so you want to make sure that you're providing that value, and it could be high quality content, it could be entertaining, it could be a combination of things, to where people are continuing to open those email addresses, because you don't want it to be, there's an abundance of mediocre content out there, especially with the introduction of AI and all these other types of things. So things that are just mediocre in the long run are not going to help you get to your goal of, fortifying your brand and building a strong brand in the long run. And then the other thing too is that if you're running promotions to this list on a regular basis, which it can be a really good idea and very lucrative, you do need to make sure that you're providing value in the meantime. So not every email that they open from you is, says, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. Because we all know, I think, I've definitely been on some of those lists before where it's a good brand, but every email that I open from them, I know is in order to sell something. And I'm just, not ready to buy every single time that I get an email from them. So making sure that you're kind of following that rule of, 4 emails or 4 to 5 emails that add value before you send something that's, purchase my product. And I liked, how you talked about soft sell. So you can have the bulk of that email be value add. And then, maybe at the bottom or a small piece of it is, hey, by the way, if you're trying to solve this problem, here's a product that we have that does a great job for that, or we're doing 10% off on this other product for the month, or whatever it happens to be. A lot of ways you can do those soft sells. So selling via email is fantastic, but you do need to provide a lot of value in the meantime in order to maintain that list and keep them as an evergreen asset for your brand.
Yeah, I want to hear what Matt has to say about it, but I wanted to say one last thing that I don't want to miss, because it's actually a lot of Amazon sellers that I talk to, I find this is what happens, and this is what turns them away from trying to build a list. I can't tell you the number of sellers that I've talked to who said, we tried this, we had an insert, we offered a really a good discount on a future purchase, and we just didn't get anybody who actually responded to it or scanned the code. And I think it's a mistake it's not necessarily a mistake to offer a discount on a future purchase. It's a mistake if that's all you're offering, even if the discount is a really good discount, because most of the people are buying your product for the first time. They're new buyers. They just opened your product. They haven't tested it yet. Like they were convinced enough to buy it, but that just means they're willing to test it, right? Because on Amazon, they can return it. They know they can return it. So they were willing to test it. That doesn't mean that they're sold on your brand. It doesn't mean they, really love you. They just wanted to try it. So if you offer them a 30% discount on a product that they don't even know if they like, they're going to set that aside. At best, they're going to set it aside. At worst, they're going to throw it away, but they're not going to respond to it. Like, there's no reason for them to ask for that discount if they don't know they like your product already. So please, for the love of God, don't use a product discount on a future order on your insert that is not going to get you a decent response rate. And if it turns you off from building a list because you tried that, try again, because you screwed it up. Don't offer a discount, or at least don't only offer a discount, offer something more.
A discount is much better for like on the back end. Like they're already on your list.
Absolutely.
They've already been in a giveaway or two. They bought a couple of products. Definitely not for what I love about what you do, Mike, is that we're selfish creatures, and we are by nature. So it's always the question I always ask myself is, what's in it for me as a consumer? So what's in it for me? And for you, Mike, a lot of what they saw on your listing was, hey, we offer a warranty. And for people, yes, they might be jaded. They might have been burned by one of those in the past, but at least it's in the back of their mind. So if it was any part of their purchasing decision for that warranty, when they see that thing that they have to interact with that has the QR code on it, they're a lot more likely to click on that. And you're not offering them a discount on anything. This is how they register for that warranty that they were interested in. And again, that was part of their purchasing decision. Whether or not they believe it to be true, they saw it on your listing, and now it's in the back of their mind. So your opt-in rate is a lot bigger than a lot of other people. And you'll hear people say that warranties have been around and it's played out, but like, you're proof in the pudding that they still work, they're still valuable, and people will click on it. And once you actually do what you say that you were going to do, and you come through on a warranty, like that customer, they're probably already a customer for life anyways, because you're putting out good products. But even more so now, like any product that you launch, any email that you send, they're going to open, they're going to tell their friends about it. They're going to be more willing to add more people, to invite more people to your contest, which you give points for as well. Like that just gets that flywheel spinning a whole lot faster. And I love that you offer something that it's a win for them. Like, I know what's in it for me is that I can replace this for free forever. So that's what's in it for me. And I'm going to scan this, and I'm going to give you all my contact info because I want access to that warranty. So
I think the big takeaway here is, not warranty versus discount versus giveaway, or even a combination of those. Really what it boils down to is that you need to find the right offer for your brand for that after purchase funnel. And it's going to look different. I mean, just in the discussion of, knowing the brands that, we own and work with is, a warranty is a fantastic for a product that's, more expensive. So because it means a lot more, because it's if I'm buying $1,000 product, I'm more likely to register that warranty, because if something goes wrong, you better believe I want that company to back it up, because I don't want to pay another $1,000 to replace it. Whereas if it's $20 product, I mean, like you said, especially with Amazon, with a 30-day return policy that's super easy to implement, I'm probably not going to register for that warranty, because it's too much of a barrier. But people love winning free stuff, and really the big problem there is in my experience working with some other brands, and is that giveaways are incredibly powerful, and almost too powerful, in the sense of you get a lot of people that are just tire kickers. Well, if you've already, have somebody who's bought your product, that they're already a customer. Like they've done a ton of pre-qualification. And so it can be worth having that giveaway piece. Because if you are like, hey, I was interested in this product to purchase it, and I'm a customer, winning more of, whatever's kind of involved in that product or that brand, or even in that category, is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to qualify whether, warranties are awesome. Obviously we've used it successfully, but you do have to qualify whether your product makes sense for doing a warranty. Then I would take it the next step to say, if it makes sense to offer a warranty, if you think that's something that would actually be valuable for your product, then the question becomes, offer the strongest warranty that you can possibly offer that you think will be profitable. And I would say, listen on a future podcast, because I think this is actually a good topic to have, is on the warranty topic, in terms of how you evaluate, is it a good product for a warranty? How strong of a warranty can I actually offer? Because I would argue likelihood is you can offer a much stronger warranty than you think you can in a lot of industries and a lot of niches. There's a lot of products you can offer a much stronger warranty than you think profitably, but offer the strongest one that you can. And then, again, make sure that you're using that as part of the process. Because again, remember, the one strong thing about a warranty is the natural part of the process is when they register, we have clearly demonstrated that it seems completely intuitive to our customers to give us a physical address in response to a warranty registration. I wasn't entirely sure. I didn't know how many people would, because for a long time, we didn't actually ask for that. When we started asking for that, I was blown away by the fact that nearly 100% of them actually give us their physical address, and we don't even require it. We put it on there, like the spaces are there for them to enter it, but we don't require it. So if nothing else that you take away from this, if you can offer a physical warranty, it is a guaranteed way to collect physical addresses. If you think you might use them, this is a perfect way to do it.
Yeah. And I think, again, there's a lot of different ways. Warranty is fantastic, and I think in that after purchase funnel course, we give at least 4 or 5 different examples of how to, of different ways that you can put an offer out there for buyers to opt in. A warranty is a very powerful one. We have a couple more examples out there for that people can use. And really what it boils down to is you need to figure out what buyer offer is best for that product and maybe your brand overall. And so, with that, we need to wrap on this episode, but I did want to take a couple of minutes of any final thoughts from you, Matt, and Mike, before we wrap up.
No, I mean, this is like, if I don't want to say that building $1 million brand is easy, because it's not, but like Mike laid out what it takes. And, like when you have an audience, and there's so many different ways that's powerful, but Mike just laid out exactly how he did it. He gave you exactly word for word from start to finish, how he built out the system that just constantly generates more email addresses, and the value of that can't be understated. So yeah, lots of value in this episode.
Mike,
I don't think I have anything more to add. I've been talking a lot.
All right. Well, I think this is an awesome Amazon Tip Tuesday. Our episode number 2, our first Tip Tuesday. I think people are going to get a ton of value out of this. If you want more on the after purchase funnel, like I said, we've got a free course or blueprint course at brandfortresshq.com, where we really go through this step by step based on our experiences to get you started on that process of building a buyer list, and really at the end of the day, building probably the biggest asset for your brand over the long term, which is having that list of customers via email, physical addresses, and even, we do touch a little bit on phone numbers and text message as well. So thank you everybody for listening, guys. Fantastic that we're able to, knock out our first Amazon Tip Tuesday, and I look forward to our next episode.
Super. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.